let's go with one small video presentation about Lumen Network, and then we'll move forward to the session. Can you confirm audio is okay?
Hi everyone. Globally, 50% of global GDP is coming from micro, small, medium enterprises, what we call small, medium organizations throughout the globe. 90% of job opportunities are being generated by small, medium businesses. In India, 30% of GDP is generated from micro and small medium enterprises. 120 billion jobs are being generated by this particular sector of micro and small medium enterprises directly. Indirectly, 26 crore people are being generated, 260 million employment has been generated through this sector. 140 crore population of this country. For everyone to have a job, for everyone to thrive on their aspirations and dreams in life, entrepreneurship is the only way which can actually bring in desired results going forward. Hence, Government of India and each of the state governments across the country are giving more thrust for building entrepreneurship. It could be Make in India movement, it could be Startup India, could be a complete entrepreneurial ecosystem. But youth of the country in India, throughout the globe, have high aspirations in life. The standard of life has been increasing year on year, decade after decade. So everybody wants to go for a maximum achievement towards their aspirations and dreams in life. How do we make the aspirations and dreams into reality? People like us, people who have been in the industry for so many decades, wanting to do something for this upcoming future, for the future generations. Back in India, we have been running a consulting organization over the last 2.5 decades, and we ventured into what we call in French word, a renaissance. Renaissance is a word between 14th to 17th century, quite popular. It is called a rebirth of cultural transformation. Classical arts and literature has been really given a momentum. Hence, place like Silicon Valley has been benefited to this renaissance movement of entrepreneurship. It has also scaled up to an entrepreneurial sector where Silicon Valley is what Silicon Valley is today. But similar to Silicon Valley, back in India, typically like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Maharashtra, and Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, everywhere today we are creating our own outfits. Startup founders, the innovators, the dreamers, aspirational individuals and youth are coming up saying, we will create a product, Make in India product, Made in India products. And we want to support every single youth of this country, every single aspirational leaders, entrepreneurs, to the best of our abilities and capabilities. Not only in India, throughout the globe. Hence, we ventured into our renaissance, the rebirth of consulting space, into what we call Lumen Network. We actually created a platform called Lumen Network to serve this community. This community is just not only one particular state or one particular country, it is a global community. The community is called Lumen Network, where anybody who wants to aspire to become an entrepreneur, who are already running in organizations, they can actually connect with us. We have 3 principles that we are emphasizing in this whole venture: connect, aggregate, and integrate. End of the day, entrepreneurs and aspirational leaders, founders wanted to have connections, networking, and they want to also have aggregation. So they want to grow the business into a different scale, and they also wanted to actually integrate the business into a meaningful purpose. Hence, Lumen Network is born in India and taking it to the global community. This platform is available online. I welcome each and every one of you who are watching this video and become a member of Lumen Network. And if you are a subject matter expert, if you are a service provider, feel free to connect with us. You can become member of your own sector and fraternity to offer your services to the needy people, the MSMEs and startup founders. So Lumen Network is right here for each one of you to become a torchbearer for the future community to thrive and grow. I welcome each and every one of you with my heart filled with the love and affection to build a nation, build the global community of entrepreneurship into the next level. I welcome you all. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.
Very, very good evening. Thank you very much for joining this webinar series. This is the first webinar series of this organization, Lumen Network, which is a platform of Sea Change Consulting. I'm MK Anand, also called Sea Change Anand. And I've been connected with the MSME sector over the last 32 years. And this Lumen Network platform is going to empower each one of you who are present here, who are going to be present here in the future, to avail host of services. As part of our initiatives, what we call 10 compelling services for the MSMEs. The first out of 10 is webinar series. This is going to be done every Saturday between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Today, we have with us a speaker of the day, who is also my beloved partner and founder and CEO of Sea Change Consulting, Mr. S. Prakash. And he's going to present us what he's going to present us. And we can share a slide to you so that you will get more clarity on this. Just give me a minute. So can you all see the slide here? Can you see the slide here? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Mr. Prakash, thank you. This is Mr. Prakash, who is also called Corporate Sage Prakash. And he's my guiding light in this platform, Lumen Network. And he's an author. He has written 16 books so far, and another 3 books are on its way to MSME and industry. One of the recent publications from Mr. Prakash is quite popular, called PHGnomics, Peace, Happiness, and Growth combined. This particular book, I would call it as compendium of the entire 40 years of his journey from social, professional, personal, and spiritual. All combined together, we created this book called Pagenomics. This is being presented to the 190 countries through Lumen Network, through our regional honorary advisors. And we are working on this particular project to take how to bring peace, happiness, and growth all put together. We need to grow. We need to multiply our profits. We need to grow our top line. Also, we need to have peace at home, peace at individual level. So he is trying to bring this wisdom to us. Having said this, one of his book is quite popular among the MSME sector, called 9 Habits of Super Successful MSMEs. And today's topic is all about that book. Today's topic is about 9 habits of super successful MSMEs. I request wholeheartedly, on behalf of each one of you, Corporate Sage Prakash ji, to share his wisdom to all of us. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much. After the session is over, 40 minutes, we are going to have a Q&A. And during Q&A, we all can get unmute your audio, and then post your queries and questions. You'll be able to respond to us. Thank you, and over to Corporate Sage Prakash.
Thank you, Mr. Anand. How do you put the entire ocean in a glass is the question that is in front of me right now. whatever I have gone through in my life, which I have captured over several books that I have written, the most important book of all, particularly appealing to the MSME community globally, is the 9 Habits of Super Successful MSMEs. Let me share something here so that it becomes easy for everyone to follow. My screen is visible to all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Whenever I think of the journey of MSME, I do not look at how they work. I do not look at how they run their businesses and all that, but I look at something very, very, very important. What I would look purely from a what is in it for me kind of a perspective. When you implement, when the book was written, of course, many of them may not be aware as much as Mr. Anand is aware. This book is a work of almost 10 years of labor. The seed for this book was sown way back in 2014 when I started putting together a few chapters, and like how maybe Mr. A.R. Rahman writes the music, I keep writing on and off and then compile them over a period of time and then cull out these kind of books. When I started writing the book, there were only 5 points I had in my mind in terms of what I would see the life of a MSME owner, business owner, culminating in either in the short term, mid term, or in the long term. So I look for 5 points that I would want every MSME in this world to enjoy in their life, which what you see on the screen. First is the financial freedom. We all know that MSMEs, 90 to 95% of them spend their entire life in building their business, but they do not really see the end of the tunnel, or what I call as the end of the rainbow. The financial freedom is something that they always look for, systematically building personal wealth and securing their family's future. The second most important point is that many of them spend so much of time in building their businesses that they actually lose their entire time by the time they become 50 or 60, and then they turn back. And then one of the biggest regrets they all seem to have is that I could have spent more time on things, on my hobbies, on my family, on my spiritual pursuits, etc., which I did not spend time in. If they can get back a good amount of time, which will help them to build a good work-life balance, that is something that I am keen on sharing by helping them to implement what they're going to see in this book. A very simple summary is what I'm going to share in this forum. Of course, the book is available for all to buy online in Amazon and other online platforms. English and Hindi are already out. Tamil is on the way, as Mr. Anand mentioned earlier. The third point is to have mental peace and clarity. Many of them go through so much of pressure and turmoil and so much of sacrifice that they do that they actually lose their mental peace in their life. How do I help them to replace the daily stress with a calm and structured control? This is where a balance between body, mind, and soul comes in. And then the fourth point is to have a renewed passion into doing what they love to do the most, building business. Many of them, what happens is after some point of time, they stop loving their business, and then they do it because they have caught the tiger by its tail. They don't have any other choice but to just continue to do what they are doing without enjoying. So there is a renewed passion, renewed purpose, which I would like to instill back in them. And all these values are built into this book, which I'll unfold in the next 20-25 minutes. The fifth and final point is to ensure that they have a tremendous amount of confidence that they can build a secure future. Many times what tends to happen is that, in my personal experience, which some of the great consultants who are part of the show and Mr. Anand himself will say and vouch for, is that many of them build a business and then they find that the next generation actually goes off into greener pastures away from the business. And then they find that this is something that they don't want to do. And the MSMEs do not know whether to continue the business or to wind it up. Neither can they sell it off, nor can they close it. So the idea is when they package these 5 points, which is what I call it the what is in it for me, from purely a personal perspective of running the business. These 5 points aside, the next slide will share in terms of 10 main points, which is what we also follow in all our consulting framework, what I call as WFM-B, which is what is in it for my business by following the inputs that all the consultants and all the inputs that are going to be shared in this book or in this session is going to give them. We look at there are 10 key points that I would like to summarize and share with them that they will surely have access to. In terms of time frame, that is something that would change based on the kind of business that they are in. We all know that there are between 45 to 50 business verticals globally in which MSMEs are present. And each of the business has about 15 to 16 various tasks or departments that they have to manage. When they do all that, which is covered in this book extensively and in the seminar that we are going through, they'll be able to do one. They'll be able to optimize the top line. When I say top line, I'm talking about increased sales or increased revenue if they're a service company. Bottom line optimization, there is no point in going ahead and improving only top line when you do not have much of profits to take home, what I call as a EBITDA or EBIT or PAT or PBT, whatever terminologies that they are familiar with. Bottom line optimization is something that would be surely something that they'll be able to take away when they implement the input from this session as well as the book. Increase weighted average gross margin on sales, which is the beginning. After a proper adjustment of OPEX and all that, the kind of net profit that they have in hand, which they can either reinvest into the business or take away for their own personal gain. The third point is what I call as cost optimization. When we look at cost optimization, internationally, we always work on one single metrics called as the 6x output based on the total CTC that they invest. For example, the CTC is what we call as cost to company. If a company is investing 1 lakh per month on their staff, I'm talking about a very, very, very entry-level MSME, they should be able to make 6 lakhs of gross margin in a month out of the sales or revenue, service revenue that they make. So 6x is the global benchmark, which we help MSMEs to actually achieve over a period of time. And then we also look at revenue optimization, which helps them to look at 20x output on the total CTC. Like the earlier example I gave, if they're putting in 1 lakh as CTC per month on their staff, if they make say 6x as the gross margin, to reach that 6x gross margin, if they're selling products typically which are say traded or manufactured, they're looking at 20x output, which means they should be able to do about 20 lakhs of top line revenue every month and keep OPEX within certain limits, which we'll cover maybe later, to arrive at a 6x output, which is the gross margin. When your 6x gross margin is assured, typically a business would produce between 12 to 15% PAT. These are details which we can of course cover in a later Q&A, or maybe when we get to serve these customers or MSME clientele or watching the show. The fifth point is process optimization. If you really look at the global success of many of the organizations, what they really excel in is not just doing things randomly right, but they're excelling in doing things consistently right. The key is to move from randomness to consistency, and that is something that comes from process optimization, which means typically we look at overhauling all the processes and SOPs that the clients currently have, at least with a benchmark of 20% year on year, whether it's a financial process, legal process, HR process, many of the other processes that the company would have as part of the collection of all these processes will ensure the work goes on, it produces the top line and the bottom line. So process optimization is something that we continuously work, and that gets covered as well. Then we look at digital optimization. In this current scenario where AI, machine language, and all that is flooding the market and people are confused, we help clients to optimize their digital platforms and footprints, at least on a scale of year-on-year growth of 20%. We then look at one of the most important assets that a company has, which we call as the employees or the internal stakeholders, or if they really progress well, what we call as intrapreneurs, as Mr. Anand would normally use. Employee optimization, where we achieve this by robust performance management system or PMS, or DNA creation, which is what leads to creation of values through which we are able to maintain a very high level of motivated workforce as well as whose morale is always high. And then that leads to the 8th point, which is efficiency optimization, where we are looking at employee productivity to increase by at least 2x. One of the benchmarks data that I recently went through, which was shared by one of the leading magazines of India, where they are speaking even in very advanced organizations, the employee productivity is hardly 35% of what is expected of each employee. To put it very simply, if I'm working for 10 hours, my productivity is hardly 3.5 hours, which is something that we can increase it from 30% by 2x over a period of 1 or 2 years easily. That itself, without actually increasing any expense on marketing or sales or any of the other thing, by just improving the efficiency of the employees alone, we will be able to, which is linked back, if you really look at point number 7, which comes from robust PMS, etc. And then the 9th point obviously is a growth optimization. International benchmarks for MSMEs talk about 15 to 20% year on year. But we believe that consistently we can help them to improve their growth by 50%, all round growth, not just in top line and bottom line. And that is something that happens over a period of maybe between 2 to 3 years. The last but not the least point is the future securitization. This is to ensure that the business continues to sustain, continues to grow, and continues to accelerate instead of just stopping. And we even help organizations through the implementation of the points that we're going to share on how they can move into IPO listing. This is as far as the what is in it for my business is concerned. Finally, if you really look at an MSME, if you're looking purely at financial inputs, sales inputs, marketing inputs, all that surely we'll be able to give you, we are going to give you. But the whole thing boils down what I call as habits. If you really look at the future of the success of any MSME who's watching this program today or going to watch it later through YouTube or any of the reading through the books, etc. Finally, we have a finite time, which we call as 24 hours in a day. And this 24 hours becomes finally into the amount of habits that consume. For example, if you really look at habit finally boils down to two factors: how you think and how you do. Many people ask, can it be so, sort of simplified that habit can be brought down to just two simple words of thinking and doing? Really look at anything that you are currently going through. Just look at, break them into parts. You'll find there is one thinking part and there is another doing part. The thinking part is where MSMEs will find that it is the beginning of the first, I would say, when a drop of making or the first dot in making a rangoli. The first dot is wrong, as they say in Tamil, Mudal Konal, Mutrum Konal. You will find that the entire rangoli goes wrong. So how you think, how you decide, how you strategize, how you set your goals, how you plan, how you incentivize your team, how you manage your emotions, how you are able to manage the external vendors, how you manage many of the other functions. All these starts with a simple thought. And how well you are able to think? Do you have a rational thinking or are you an emotional thinker? Do you make decisions on the spur of the moment? Are you an impulsive person? All these will decide what follows, which I call as a action. Thinking may look to be just 10% of the time, and 90% of the time goes in doing. Doing is where you'll have a lot of help. You'll have other L1, L2, L3 leaders or lower end staff at L4 and L5. But finally, the thinking is the main thing, what I call as the 10 bar 90 rule. So if you really look at it, go back, analyze your habits and find if the habits are aligned. And this is where all the major work that we are going to do. There are main 9 habits that really defines what a super successful MSME would have. If you're looking, if on the screen, you will find 9 habits, which forms the basis of the book that I have released. You will find that many of them may not directly connect, apparently may not directly connect to finance or sales or marketing or anything that seems to be an output. But I'll show you the magic within the next 5-10 minutes on how actually by implementing these 9 successful habits, all that you're going to do in your life from now on will start producing results beyond your wildest imagination. The first one, what I call as a habit, is the barriers to success. The biggest barrier to success normally, as we always say, is the MSME business owner himself or herself. We always say what is known as a founder's trap. Many times, the ability of the business owner to think big, the ability of the business owner to think agile, the ability of the business owner to think beyond his current set of. See, many of us do the mistake of being able to think only up to the tip of our nose. We know so much, and that what we know becomes a limitation to through which we think, or through which actually a limitation of thinking itself gets restricted. And the same way, how you emote, how you handle your feeling. These barriers to success is something which I have jumped very deep into this book. Many of these barriers to success you'll find are mental and emotional. If you are able to handle the mental and emotional barriers, you'll find then that the biggest barrier of all is the habit one, which is something that will ensure your continued success. That takes us to the next habit, what I call the passionate sense of mission. The biggest difference I found, which I find in about 1 to 2% of the MSME business owners I've interacted with, as well as mid cap and large companies, is that they have a passionate sense of mission. As they would put it very simply, do or die. I'm so much connected to the mission that I have. I have a product, I have a service. I believe it's adding so much of cutting edge, cutting value, so much of value addition you want to bring to the world that nobody can shake that kind of the passionate sense of mission I have. Do you have it in you? If you have, final VSP, USP, whatever you want to call, is something that comes through the passion that you have for the product or the service, which becomes a
We,
passionate sense of the
Mr.
mission.
Sorry, Mr. Prakash, we lost a couple of seconds in between. Also,
Uh,
if you could maximize the screen, it will be better. Yeah, thanks. Yes, sir. Perfect.
okay, good. I think maybe they lost where I was talking about the passionate sense of mission. If it is where we were lost, the passionate sense of mission is when the person, the business owner, has so much of passion. It's like, I have a product which is going to make so much of difference in the world. You need to have that kind of a belief, and that's what this book helps to instill in you. The third is where we speak about the habit of being creative. Many times I find that when I speak to entrepreneurs, when I speak to business owners, we find that they do not set aside time for what we call as creative, which is about creating a future. Not just about the business alone, about the processes that they're doing, about tweaking the service that they have, tweaking the quality, tweaking the way they do the marketing. If you are investing less than 10% of your day's time, for example, if you are working 10 hours a day, if you're investing less than 1 hour a day for something creative, which is all about what we call as the future box, you are not making progress. You will be feeling like a person running on a treadmill, and which is actually, sort of you are running, but you are standing where you are. So the ability to invest time on being creative is very, very important. The fourth point is building a positive mental attitude. What happens is that the world is not going to give everything on a sort of a platform, rosy platform to you. There will be thorns on the way. If you are going to keep on complaining about, say, I understand the pain of MSMEs very well. I am sure Mr. Anand does too. We all know the kind of pains and the tribulations, as they say, we go through in life. But if you're going to sink, see, the situation that you are facing is the same situation somebody else is facing in some other part of the world or in some other part of India. How you respond to the situation is what makes the big difference. Do you see someone throwing a stone at you or as someone who is throwing a stone to hit me, or are you seeing a stone that is being thrown at you as a building block which is going to help me build my home? The whole thing finally boils down to that, and it is the habit number 4 is what about building a positive mental attitude is. The fifth point, which I put as the top 3 leadership abilities throughout the world, is that how good are you as a leader in communicating whatever you want to communicate. So everything that you need to communicate is what determines what kind of action flows from the team that you have around you. If you are a confused communicator, you are not assertive enough, you are not able to communicate with authority, you are not able to listen to them. All these will ensure that despite you having a great product, despite you having a great set of services, despite you having a great marketplace, you might still fail because you are not able to communicate and help build relationship with the team members that you have. So the ability to communicate becomes an important point, and that leads us to the sixth point, which is about keeping what we call as an EQ, or an emotional quotient. Today, one of the most important points, which has been there since mid 90s, is how well you're able to manage your emotions. Emotion is something that we always speak about as energy in motion. If you have an energy in motion which is negative, it is like the power of atom. The power of atom can be used either to create or to destroy. Likewise, can someone, I have seen many times people telling, please don't go to boss's room between 11 and 11:30 in the morning. Normally, that is the time that his mood is off. Normally, I tell MSME owners, business owners, CXOs of those companies, is if your mood is unpredictable, please remember that your employees will be running in circle on how to manage you rather than managing the business. If you really want your business to thrive, your emotions have to be stable. A true professional is one who does not allow emotions to interfere his business from succeeding. This habit is what I dive deeper into this book. The seventh habit is what I call as managing the time. First things first, or what I call as your ability to prioritize what you need to do. Many times, what happens is that we all work on last in, first out principle in our life. I get a phone call, I get a mail, I have a walk in visitor, I have a complaining customer. That takes over the priority, and then what happens is what I need to be actually doing, I lose focus of that completely. So the ability to tie your priorities to the goals of the organization is foremost, and that's what actually we deep dive into this habit. And when you manage that, you will find that you have abundant time to go back to the five habits that I shared at the beginning, the five what is in it for me that I shared for the MSME owners. The eighth one, which really makes a big difference to the success of any company, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, is a very famous quotation that you must have read from Alice in Wonderland. Goal setting and foolproof action plan. We always say that before you launch a rocket, get it right on paper, or if you fail on paper, do not launch the rocket. That way, at least you would have saved a lot of money. And then the ninth habit, which is about building great teams, handling conflicts, and solving problems. 20 to 25% of your time in a day must be set aside for doing what we know as building mutual trust and respect, helping your employees to understand that you care for them, giving them the space for them to share their views. You might find many times that as a business owner, you seem to know everything that you have, but you'll be surprised to find that the collective knowledge of the team many times is far superior to what one single person and organization knows. Whenever we consult as a part of Sea Change's communication platform, we always tell that please listen to your internal stakeholders all the time. Whether you agree, whether you don't agree, the moment you listen to them, you'll find that many of the conflicts disappear. And you'll also find that many of the problems are solved before they become really sort of hot on your hand. Let me go to the next one. One of the biggest chapter towards the end of this book is what I call the bonus business habits. Because sometimes when you look at only the mental and emotional and team building and emotional other competencies, people think that maybe we are not speaking really top line and bottom line. These 10 bonus business habits that you see here will ensure that you help build a customer centric approach. You build an efficient financial management. When I say efficient financial management, I even talk about having a daily P&L access. How many of you watching this program, unless you have already been consulted to by Sea Change, you watch a P&L on a daily basis? Do you know how much profit you are making on a daily basis? Are you making EBITDA? Are you making a loss? Is it possible to make? Yes, we do show that it is possible to make in a very simple way. We have tools and techniques for that. The business habit 3 is your ability to innovate and be adaptable. The business habit 4 is about effective networking. Today, if you really know this platform, that Lumen Network that you are proposing, where you're all joining slowly, is about effective networking to a global platform. The moment you network globally, you will find global can be at a state level, can be at a national level, can be at a continental level, or pan-continent as well. You will find that effective networking is something that will help you open doors which you never imagined possible before. And then focusing on habit number 5, these are 10 micro habits as I call. Building a skilled workforce development. Many times you'll find that your employees or internal stakeholders will have the will to work, but they may not have the talent. So you'll have to ensure that you continuously provide the talent. And then to ensure that you build a resilient business culture is the business habit 6. The business habit 7 is about your ability to leverage technology. How many of you, for example, today I find that right from Harvard to so many institutes are offering free courses on AI and ML. How many of you have started doing the courses? How many of you have the basic thinking and you know how to leverage the technology? That will determine how far you go ahead in your business. And then your ability to make sustainable practices, which is what comes through process and SOP building and building a strong leadership. Many times we find that when we work with MSMEs, the leadership begins and ends with the business owners. The CEO or the owner of the business or MD or whoever managing partner, he is the one and the only leader. So what happens is one day he has to go off, one day he has to travel. Many times when we used to consult, one of the teasing questions I ask the CEOs is, can you take off for 1 or 3 months from the business and will the business still run? So this is something the MSME owners will have to carefully sort of look out for. The last point when it comes to the micro habits is the quality control and consistency, because finally customers will keep looking at what kind of quality control and consistency. In case we are looking how this ties back to the 10 points that I shared, I'm sharing here one simple mapping mechanism. The 9 habits of the book are mapped to the WIFMB, which is what is in it for my business. If you look at really the habit number 1, barriers to success, it helps you to optimize employees. I have shared the percentage of optimization in the first slide. I'll make this PPT available to the program organizers and it will be shared with you hopefully later after the culmination of the program. It helps you to efficiency optimization and growth optimization. Habit 2, which is passionate sense of mission, helps you to do efficiency optimization and future securitization. Habit 3, being highly creative, helps you to optimize your top line, optimize your revenue, optimize your process, and optimize your digital footprints. Habit number 4, building a positive mental attitude, helps you to optimize your employees, optimize your growth, and optimize your future securitization. Habit number 5, which is communicate to conquer. When you master this habit, you will find it leads to better top line optimization, better bottom line optimization, mainly because you are able to communicate to them consistently on a frequent basis, daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly. You have the monthly review meetings, your quarterly review meetings, and all that. Habit number 6, when you keep a great emotional quotient, you will ensure that employees stick along with you because they start seeing great leadership qualities in you. It will also ensure that you look at a future with a more holistic view and a more positive view. The habit 7, first things first, helps you to optimize your top line, optimize your bottom line, optimize your cost, optimize your revenue and process, as well as digital. Habit number 8, goal setting and foolproof action plan. In this book, you'll find that each of the habit is given as a template. Enough inputs are given on how we can actually implement them. Because for you to read the book, which is about 180 pages, might take you about 2 to 3 hours. I'm giving you the blueprint on what you'll be getting. When you do proper goal setting and foolproof action plan, you'll find that your top line, bottom line, growth and future gets optimized. And habit number 9 will ensure that you build great teams, and that would ensure optimization on employees, efficiency, and future securitization. Let me also give the mapping to the 10 bonus habits that I shared. Each of the habit is a gold mine. You might decide it's like a lock which has multiple keys. They open with one lock, they open with multiple lock, they open with one key, they open with multiple keys. You can use all the habits or even to start with one habit which you like to use and then start building on it. Business habit 1, customer centric approach, will ensure that your top line and bottom line is optimized. Business habit 2, which is efficient financial management, will help you to optimize cost and revenue and efficiency. Business habit 3, adaptability and innovation, will help you to optimize growth and future securitization. Business habit 4 will ensure that through effective networking, we're able to optimize on employees and future securitization. Micro business habit 5, which is skilled workforce development, will help you to optimize employees, top line and bottom line. And the next 5 habits you'll see are business habit 6, which is building a resilient business culture, will help you to optimize growth and future. Business habit 7 will help you to optimize process and digital footprints. Business habit 8 will ensure to optimize efficiency and growth and future. Business habit 9 will ensure future and employee. Business habit 10 will ensure, which is quality control and consistency, will help you to optimize cost, process, and efficiency. You will find that very surprisingly, normally when you invest in a framework or in a business book or in a guiding book like this, you may have to invest all your time in all the habits before you start seeing benefits. But I believe in micro changes. I believe that each of these habits, if implemented over a period of time, next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever time frame it takes, we can also actually help you to implement this in your business on a one-on-one work as well. You will find that you will start seeing micro changes. For example, you will start seeing a 1% change in 1 week's time. And if you multiply 10 weeks, you're talking about a 10% change if done consistently. If you really look at it in summary, we are talking about revisit on how you think and do your habits, what we call as a kaizen or micro changes. Kai stands in Japanese, as Mr. Joe Srinivasan, who's part of this call, might agree, is Kai talks about continuous, and speaks about Kai speaks about micro changes, and Zen speaks about continuous improvement as well. And that will help you to unleash the hidden powers in you and your business and become unstoppable. I wish that you go ahead and implement all these habits one after another, and at God's speed, you start seeing the success, but also to ensure that your business succeeds beyond your wildest imagination. Ensure that you connect with the Lumen team on a consistent basis. On board, they have consultants who have done work globally on pan-Asian, pan-American, pan-European platforms, have worked with MSMEs, have worked with mid-cap and large companies. They'll be able to help you implementing all these habits over a period of time. And if there are any questions, I'm ready to take it up. Of course, in case you want to follow me on my social handles, so look for Corporate Sage Prakash, and you'll be able to find a lot of additional research that are coming your way. 35 minutes, I'm pausing here, Mr. Anand, and I will take questions if there are any.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prakash. It's bang on, and thank you so much. In 40 minutes, you have covered the entire compendium of the 9 habits book that you have written. My dear friends, MSME entrepreneurs, this webinar series is for the global audience. We have connected for the entire globe. Hence, we kept it as a language neutral English, but some of you have asked me personally, like you wanted to have some vernacular support as well. தமிழ் நம்ம நிறைய பேர் தமிழ் தான் இங்க இருக்கோம். டெஃபினட்டா உங்களுக்கு வந்து தமிழ்ல Q&A வந்து தமிழ்ல பண்ணலாம். ஸோ மிஸ்டர் பிரகாஷ் வில் ஸ்பீக் தமிழ் வெரி வெல். அண்ட் நம்ம கொஷின்ஸ் இப்போ கேட்கலாம். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி குயிக் சம்மரியா நான் பார்க்கறது வந்து 9 ஹேபிட்ஸ் அண்ட் 10 போனஸ் ஹேபிட்ஸ் அவர் கவர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ஆன் பிஹாஃப் ஆஃப் ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ, ஐ வுட் லைக் டு ஸ்டார்ட் வித் மை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் டு மிஸ்டர் பிரகாஷ் இன் திஸ் Q&A செஷன். சார், இப்போ இந்த 9 ஹேபிட்ஸ் சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா, இந்த பேரியர்ஸ் ஃபார் சக்ஸஸ்ல ஆரம்பிச்சு 9 ஹேபிட்ஸ், அதுல வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்து 9th வரைக்கும் போகணுமா, 9th ஆரம்பிச்சு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போகலாமா? which one to start first?
அதாவது இது வந்து நான் முதலியே சொன்ன மாதிரி சூப்பில் ஆரம்பித்து தயிர் சாதத்துக்கு போகலாம், இல்லைன்னா கடைசியில் ஐஸ்கிரீம் சாப்பிட்டுட்டு சூப்புக்கு வரலாம். எப்படி சாப்பிட்டாலும் உடம்பு ஒத்துக்கும். இது ஹேபிட்ஸில் என்னென்னா, இது ஐடியாவே என்னென்னா ஆரம்பிக்கணும். அதாவது இப்போ வந்து எழுந்தோடனே ஜிம்முக்கு போகணுமா, தியானம் பண்ணணுமா, எது பண்ணால் பெட்டர்னா, எது வேணால் பண்ணுங்க, ஏதாவது ஒன்று பண்ணுங்க. அதே மாதிரி இந்த 9 ஹேபிட்டில் ஒவ்வொரு ஹேபிட்டாக எடுத்தாங்கன்னா, ஈஸியஸ்ட்டுன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மைண்ட் செட்டை மாற்றுறது. கஷ்டமும் இருக்குது அதுதான், ஈஸியஸ்ட்டும் அதுதான். ஏன்னா அது நம்ம ஸ்பேஸு, நம்மளுக்கு அதில் மற்றவங்களுடைய ஹெல்ப்போ உதவியோ பிரச்சனையோ நம்மளுக்கு வரத்துக்கு எனக்குள்ளே நான் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும், என்னோடய மைண்டுக்குள்ளே நான் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். அங்கே ஆரம்பிக்கிறது நல்லா தான் இருக்குன்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். பேரியர்ஸ் டு சக்ஸஸ்ன்றது ஒரு நல்ல ஹேபிட் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறது.
பர்ஃபெக்ட். ஒன் ஆஃப் த ஹேபிட்ஸ், ஐ திங்க் 6th ஹேபிட் நினைக்கிறேன், யூ டாக்ட் அபவுட் எமோஷனல் கோஷன்ட். ஸோ எம்எஸ்எம்இ ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ் உங்களோடலாம் நாங்கள் நிறைய பழகிட்டு இருக்கோம், ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். இது வந்து ஒரு வைட்டல் பாயிண்ட் அவர் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணும்போது அந்த எமோஷனல் கோஷன்ட் அப்போ ஒன்று சொன்னார். நம்ம எப்படி டெய்லி வந்து நம்ம மூட் ஸ்விங் ஆகுது, நம்மளுடைய கூட ஒர்க் பண்றவங்க கிட்ட நம்ம எப்படி டீல் பண்றோம், நம்ம டெய்லி ஒர்க் பண்றவங்க நம்ம கிட்ட கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்காங்களா, ஸோ எண்ட் ஆஃப் த டே நம்மளோட டீம் தான் நம்ம ஆர்கனைசேஷனை பில்டு பண்ணுது. ஒரு செங்கல்லோ இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சரோ மெஷினோ சப்போர்ட் பண்ணும், பட் அதை ஆப்ரேட் பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங் வேணும். அந்த ஹியூமன் பீயிங் ஆப்ரேட் பண்ற பாஸ் தான் நீங்க ஆஸ் அன் ஆண்டர்பனர். ஸோ உங்களுடைய மூட் ஸ்விங் வந்து எந்த அளவுக்கு உங்களுடைய எம்ப்ளாயிஸை பாதிக்குது, அதன் மூலமாக அவங்களுடைய ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டி எந்த அளவுக்கு பாதிக்குது. நாட் ஒன்லி ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டி பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் மட்டும் கிடையாது, நம்ம ஹெல்த் எவ்வளவு பாதிக்குது அப்படின்ற பாயிண்ட் அவர் சொன்னது வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ப்ரொஃபவுண்டா எனக்கு பட்டது. அண்ட் நவ் ஐ வுட் லைக் டு ஓப்பன் அப் திஸ் Q&A செஷன் ஃபார் பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ். நீங்க எல்லாருமே மிஸ் உஷா, கேன் யூ ப்ளீஸ் unmute பண்றீங்களா audio for everybody so that anybody wanted to ask any question, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, over to you. You can ask any question to Mr. Prakash on this topic.
Namaste, Anandji.
Welcome,
Namaste,
Dr. Ramesh Kumar ji from
Prakash.
Mumbai. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Namaste, Prakash ji.
नमस्ते जी, कैसे हैं?
बस बढ़िया सब बढ़िया. It is of course indeed a pleasure to hear you always those inspiring words and wisdom you share about your experience and especially for the MSMEs. And today, as you rightly mentioned, the discipline is very important in terms of habits which MSMEs need to inculcate, and this is where MSMEs can get in going from the inception, from the beginning itself, so that they don't get digressed. We normally see that they come with only one thing, that is the idea of doing business, but then they get lost in the whole process. Of course, the discipline you mentioned about spiritual and emotional habit which needs to be cultivated, because there is so much of stress requires calmness of mind and all of that. So I think this is a wonderful message which has come from your desk, sir. And I'm sure all the MSMEs who are hearing this has heard you, will definitely take the benefit for the betterment, and they will scale up to the next level, not only in India and abroad, globally. And my heartiest wishes to Lumen Network, the great initiative from your end and Anandji's end. And we are always there to support in this endeavor. Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. I mean, we know that you do quite a lot of work through your endeavors, where you even have taken a title of Karamveer. We know how much it means for us to hear from you on how this platform and the kind of inputs that we're giving would help the MSMEs. We take it that your inputs will be of a great value to all of us. So thank you for joining, Dr. Ramesh.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
my dear friends, we have with us a few luminaries, I would say, from Lumen Network, Mr. G.N. Sivaramakrishna and Mr. Sriram Narasimhan, and of course Dr. Ramesh Kumar now. And just to quote Mr. G.N. Sivaramakrishna, he is actually the honorary advisors for the ASEAN countries, all the 7 countries. He's representing Lumen Network. He's a globetrotter, and he's going to help you with a lot of insights in connecting, the trade opportunities in the ASEAN countries. Those who wanted to connect, you can always feel free. And Mr. Dr. Ramesh Kumar is actually heading the Western. He is the Director General of MSME Bharat Manch from Mumbai. He is also the Vice President of Rupee Boss. He helps fundraising, through the debt fundraising through banks for all the MSMEs, and I'm also associated. And he is also now heading the Western region of Lumen Network. And we have with us Mr. Sriram Narasimhan, who's a CXO, a former CXO person from various multinationals. And he is heading the GCC countries, Gulf countries, and as an honorary advisor at Lumen Network. With this few recognition here, because they are all present here. Over to all the participants. Yes, JN sir, please go ahead. Somebody is, I think, talking. Can you please mute? Or Usha, please help them out. Yeah.
Sir, Mr.
Go ahead,
Prakash, I would like to ask a question, sir.
Sure, JNSG.
Sir, basically, these 9 habits for the MSME, I presume it is for the length and breadth of the organization, which means it's from the CEO, the owner, and the number of employees, everybody. Basically, so in that case, if that is so, like what we say for when you travel by flight, that you need to first put the oxygen mask for yourself and then to the others. So does it apply to the MSME owner or the CEO or the MD, that he has to first habituate himself and then do the orientation to his team members?
Wonderful question, Jinashi. I mean, I think your question has the answer inbuilt. You mentioned that while flying, you need to put the oxygen mask first, even before you help others, even if it's your child. So that, I see it from a behavioral perspective, Mr. Janas. We normally have grown up by aping others. Humans learn by copying, humans learn by imitation, and humans learn by aping. The famous dictum always goes like this. In leadership, I always share it in all my sessions. People do not do as you tell them to do. People do as you do. They do not, just because you tell them come at 9 in the morning and you come at 10, please be rest assured they'll come at 9:58. So if you have to inculcate these habits in them, the 9 main habits and the 10 micro habits, you first have to know. I mean, when we go for consulting work, people ask us the same thing. And what we have learned through your sort of your understanding, me or Mr. Anand, we all have done, succeeded, failed, bounced back, learned a lot from our businesses, which are bringing as frameworks into this business. So when anybody asks us, we always can draw a parallel to what we have done in our own business, say that this is what we did to bounce back, and that's what we are sharing with you right now. So as you rightly put, the owners will have to start inculcating habits. They can't say that you do what the consultants or the book does, but I'll do what I'm doing. You will not see much changes. Thanks for bringing up that question, Mr. James.
Thank you, Mr. Janis. Any other questions? Feel free to, yeah, Mr. Sriram.
Prakash, good evening. Thanks for that good presentation. I think good start to the Lumen networking. Okay. Generally, what we have seen, I'm looking at from the MSME perspective, looking at from an entrepreneur who is setting up a company, and while all the 9 habits, you have been tabling it very well. One of the things challenges which MSME often faces, that is they're always made to compete with large organizations. Okay, so could be even they have a great product, great idea, but when it comes to the market, they are often faced with large competition from large companies. So how an MSME should organize this and look at how do we beat the market competition in the long run?
Beautiful question, Mr. Sriram. Thanks for that. I'll answer it in 2 different buckets. The first bucket is one of the most flagship programs that we have done in Sea Change over the last 23 years. It's a program called You versus You. It's not about you winning against somebody else. It's about you winning against inner demons, your past baggages, and how you're going to make yourself better and better and better and better. So if an MSME is going to focus externally and be worried about the shadows that he's going to see as a ghost, they'll find that they are continually going to be challenged by what I call as a fear. Fear as a word, which is an acronym in English, stands for false expectations appearing real. I hallucinate and think that something else is going to hurt me. And then we'll ensure that that comes back to hurt me, because by the power of my own continuous thinking, I have made an external fear or an amplification of a wrong perception into a fear, into something internal. I bring it into reality. The second point that I want to share is that every market in the world today is a red ocean. For those who are not familiar with the concept, red ocean is when you find that everybody is out. I mean, if you're looking from a ocean perspective, you'll find that all the sharks are fighting out for their food within a given space, which is what makes it red, because the blood is out all over the place. In that, can you find fresher fish? In all probabilities, no. Which means either you have to go elsewhere where you have to create a blue ocean, which means the entire market is free for you. It's a greenfield market. Or the other option is when within the red ocean, you find maybe at 1 kilometer depth, maybe the sharks don't come. You go and sort of do hunting of the fish or whatever you want to do. Likewise, even in any business, if there is not a differentiator, that's why instead of USP, we speak about VSP. What is your value proposition? What is the special value that you bring to the table? Let me give a direct example so that I'm not just giving yarn. I'll give you a practical example of how we approach in sea change consulting. In sea change consulting, we have no fights. Though if you really look at the market space, there are thousands and thousands of consulting companies all over India, all over the globe. We have been pitted against even very large firms, name it any large firm like BCG or McKinsey or anyone. We have been pitted against them many times and we have taken consulting assignments in all those places. How do we do it? Because we have a differentiator on how we work. And when we make the client to focus on what we have to offer, what is the differentiator, I'm not worried about what others bring to the table. The moment I have to compare, which means I'm not in that game anymore. So we choose the market very clearly, we choose the clients very clearly. We know what is the value addition we bring to the table. And in fact, when we make a final pitch, which includes both our technical and the commercial offer, we actually have no room for negotiation, though the client might think that we can give a discount. The same approach can be taken for a product, can be taken for a service. I have covered many of these examples in the book where I have given examples of people, how they are differentiated. If you remember the fastest human being in the world, Usain Bolt, you'll remember 9.58, but you will remember anyone at 9.59 who ran it, you may not remember. Find a differentiator and ensure that the competition is not between you and others, but it is the competition between what you are today and what you are going to be tomorrow. By making yourself better and better and better, inch by inch, everything is a clinch. I guess that would cover the answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you.
Thank you, Sriram sir, for asking this question, relevant question and profound question on behalf of MSMEs. Thank you so much. And any other questions? We can have another 5 minutes.
This is this is Raghavendra.
Yes, Mr. Raghavendra. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Prakash sir, it was a nice presentation. Thank you for giving such a beautiful presentation. My question, I am a banker, because we are in the ecosystem with MSMEs. We see that the MSMEs largely are failing. Whatever your tips are there, that will definitely help. But as a banker, we want to be part of this ecosystem to help them to prosper. But somewhere we are not able to convince them to follow this. What would be the way out immediately to make them understand this importance to be a growth originators? As you said, definitely following this will help them. But how can the existing units we can tell, or what would be the way the bankers can use these habits to make the prosperous MSMEs in the future?
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question, sir. Actually, you brought in a very pertinent point, which is one of the factors that impedes the growth of any MSME, which is what we call the finance. Whenever we have helped MSMEs to interact with financial institutions, including banks, what I have seen, which is purely I'm speaking from the wearing the hat of a MSME here, not as a consultant, they actually have a sense of fear in terms of facing any financial institution because somehow MSME gets intimidated by the size of the organization which is sitting across them. Of course, we help to remove all those fears from the head. We say that it is a transaction. It is like any, you give a product and in turn you ask for a price. Likewise, a bank is offering you a product and you're offering something in return. If the banks and financial institutions can actually maybe make a more proactive, friendlier approach where I have, in fact, many times I have helped some of the financial institutions cross over that barrier with MSMEs by helping them to see the business from an MSME's perspective. For example, instead of just looking at giving a term loan, if you can help in terms of implementing this term loan into that business and how that would impact the P&L, how it would impact the process efficiency, etc. In that sense, if you really look at it, sir, if you take the habits and if you start varying the habits and helping the MSMEs to grow, what will happen is one of the motto that Sea Change has is service first and business later. If financial institutions, including banks, if they start looking purely as a service, I'm very sure that MSMEs will cross over the bridge because they are in huge need of funds. I am sure that the banking sector and all the financial institutions have a huge role to play, and we're willing to offer service as a bridge to help to cross over that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, sir. I'm very happy that a banker is participating in this program. So Rao, sir, I would like to add a value here with Mr. Prakash's insights. We have been very closely working with about 100 plus banks, both private, nationalized banks, NBFCs, in helping MSMEs. And this is where even Rupee boss of the MSME Bharat, Dr. G. Ramesh Kumar is here. And they are adding terrific value. Most of the MSMEs going to a bank and sitting with a bank manager and explaining about their argument about the funding requirements is the toughest game because they are extremely busy with, they're all one-man army, maybe about 5-10 people working in the organization. It's very, very tough for them to go across and interact with them. So therefore, what the value addition that Rupee Boss kind of organization is doing is we will take care of your need. We will go to the bank manager. We will talk to them. And as you rightly mentioned, how do we bring that habit? That's the question actually. How do you bring that emulate? How do they enable them to form the habit? This is where the training helps a lot. Thus, the L&D aspects of Lumen Network is working very hard and time and again, and going to the entrepreneur and do our entrepreneur coaching exclusively. One-on-one coaching we are doing, just not about making profits, just not about raising funds, but about how to really transform themselves. That is the very purpose of this, the webinar's topic, 9 habits. We try to inculcate these habits into their minds by way of regular coaching. 3 to 6 months, every entrepreneur takes coaching. In fact, a lot of people come and meet us. We do a lot of mentoring and coaching. Hopefully, the regulations also pretty tight nowadays. Government is taking a lot of initiative to bring a lot of discipline. If you really look at it, how many people have registered Vodem portal? We have 7 crore MSMEs, but only 30% of them have registered. There is a discipline that has to be inculcated in the whole exercise. India is moving towards that. I think collectively, with all of your support, we'll be able to achieve one day, maybe Viksit Bharat 2047, we will see the dramatic changes in the whole world of reaching the top 2 positions of the world economy, GDP. So looking at that, thank you very much for this question. Over to 1 or 2 questions maximum. Already it's 8 o'clock. We want to sharp start at 8 o'clock. Maybe we'll take 1 question from anybody who wanted to ask, any MSME. Any questions, feel free to ask on this topic.
Let me thank you, sir. Thank you for your both responses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rao, sir. Any other questions? Anybody other potrikingla? Chatla irkana paathuka. Yeah, chatla illa. So any question? Please feel free. 1 last question, please.
Anand sir, vanakkam sir.
Vanakkam sir.
Sir, நான் சுரேஷுங்க திருப்பூர்ல இருந்து சார். பிரகாஷ் சார் வணக்கம் சார். சார்
நீங்க வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா if you don't mind? முடிஞ்சதுனா நீங்க யாருன்னு பார்க்கலாம், வேற ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. Yeah, hello Mr. Suresh. Yeah, how are you? Yeah, go ahead sir. வணக்கம்.
சார் பிரகாஷ் சார் சொல்லும்போது அந்த 20x வந்து நம்ம சிடிசில இருந்து 20x இருக்கணும்னு சொன்னாரு பெஞ்ச்மார்க்கா. அந்த 20xங்கிறது வந்து ஹையஸ்ட் லெவலா இல்ல பேர் மினிமமா அந்த 20x வேணுமா சார்?
சார் இது
டாப் லைன்.
புரிஞ்சுது சார். சுரேஷ் சார் வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம் சார்.
ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் சார். அதாவது இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்மளுடைய இன்எஃபிஷியன்சி லீக்கேஜஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. நம்மளே சொன்ன மாதிரி எம்ப்ளாயோட எஃபிஷியன்சி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 30-35%, ஃபினான்ஷியல் பாரோயிங் ஜாஸ்தி, அவுட்ஸ்டாண்டிங் ஜாஸ்தி, பேமெண்ட் ஆஃப் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஜாஸ்தி. இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது நம்மளுடைய இன்எஃபிஷியன்சியை கவர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு 20x இருந்ததுன்னா நல்லது. ஆனால் இந்த எஃபிஷியன்சிலாம் இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆக 12 to 15x 10xலேயே உங்களால் 15% பேட் பண்ண முடியும். ஆனால் நான் ஏன் 20x வைக்கிறோன்னு சொன்னால், முதல்ல இப்போ இருக்கிற இன்எஃபிஷியன்சியை கவர் பண்ணணும். வீட்டில் செலவு ஜாஸ்தி, வரவு கம்மி. முதல்ல என்ன பண்ணணும்? வரவை கூட்டணும், செலவு அப்புறம் குறைக்கணும். செலவு குறைச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் நான் வரவு கூட்டுவேன்னா நடக்காது. அதனால முதல்ல வரவு இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்றதுக்காக அந்த காஸ்ட் கம்பெனியில் 20x சொல்றோம். அது வந்து ஒரு குளோபல் பெஞ்ச் மார்க். நீங்க 20xன்னு எடுத்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, அதில் கிராஸ் மார்ஜின் எடுத்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 35% வரும். 35%ல சிடிசி நான் முதலே சொன்ன மாதிரி 5%, ஆப்பெக்ஸ் ஒரு 10%னா 15 to 18% வரும். ஃபைனலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு 17% வந்து பிபிடி வரும். அதுலேருந்து உங்களுக்கு இஎம்ஐ டாக்ஸஸ்லாம் போட்டிங்கன்னா 12லேருந்து 15 வரும். அதை வச்சு தான் நான் 20xன்றதை அரைவ் பண்ணுறேன் சார்.
சரிங்க, ஓகேங்க சார். தேங்க்யூ.
So thank you very much. And I think we have come to the end of the session, Mr. Prakash, and thank you so much. And I'm going to share one slide here so that they can all of them can see. Just give me a minute, sir. So friends, thank you very much for attending this session. And I'm going to share this slide to you. This is going to be the topic for the next week. It's just an announcement. Next week, we are going to talk about the insolvency and bankruptcy court by Advocate Mr. G. Vairava Subramanian. So all MSMEs definitely உங்களுக்கு இதை பத்தி நிறைய தெரிய வேண்டியிருக்கும். நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். முதல்ல அவேர்னஸ் இருக்கணும். இன்சால்வன்சி என்ன, பேங்க்ரப்சி கோட் என்ன, நாளைக்கு ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் ஹேண்டில் பண்றதை விட ப்ராப்ளம் வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி ப்ரோஆக்டிவா நம்ம இந்த அவேர்னஸோட இருக்கிறது வந்து நல்லது. நிறைய ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ் வந்து லோன் வாங்கிட்டு கட்ட முடியாம கஷ்டப்பட்டு இந்த கம்பெனியே முழுகிற அளவு இருக்காங்க. அதெல்லாம் தடுக்கணுன்றது லூமன் நெட்வொர்க்கோட ஒன் ஆஃப் த ப்ரையாரிட்டியா வச்சிருக்கோம். அதுக்காக மிஸ்டர் வைரவா சுப்ரமணியம், அட்வொகேட், லீடிங் பர்சன் ஹூ இஸ் ஹேண்ட்லிங் திஸ் பர்டிகுலர் டாபிக் குவைட் வெல். அவர் வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் சாட்டர்டே 7 o'clock 1/11/2025 November 1st அன்னைக்கு சனிக்கிழமை இந்த டாபிக் பேச போறாங்க. ஸோ கைண்ட்லி ரிஜிஸ்டர் யுவர் செல்ஃப். வி வில் ஷேர் தி லிங்க்ஸ் டு யூ. With this, we have come to the end of this wonderful session, and thank you very much. Heartfelt thanks to Mr. Prakash and all the participants, all the seniors, leaders, business leaders. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable 1 hour here. We will stay connected and take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Please.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And please, finally, please explore in your WhatsApp, Lumen Network WhatsApp channel, just created 2 hours before. And we are going to exchange all the learning materials. The material that has been presented here also will be shared with you. And we will keep sharing. And we wanted to connect all of you to each of you. There are about 40-45 people attended. We want to connect all the 45 people to all the 45 people so that you can grow your relationship and network. That's a part of Networks, Lumen Networks initiative. Thank you so much and have a nice weekend. Good night. Thank you.